And we are now joined by the head coach of the 2-0 Demon Deacons, Jim Grobe. Coach, thanks for being with us.
Good to be here, Eric.
All right, we're just talking about schools who are 2-0 and how impressed we were with those schools. How impressed are you with the 2-0 Wake Forest Demon Deacons?
Well, I'm relieved. I'm not sure you'd say that I'm impressed. I'm not really sure where we are right now. I think we've beaten two pretty good football teams, but we'll find out.
Coach, it's new for Wake Forest to have so much success all in a row in football. Brand name programs like Ohio State get a lot of ready-made recruits out of the box, but you've got to find guys that they overlook and develop them. What's that process to develop an overlooked kid and turn him into an ACC champion?
Well, I think being patient, Trevor's the key. You know, we bring in a young guy, and if he's ready to play right away, we don't mind playing him as a true freshman, but we don't want to play him if he's going to be the tight end on the field goal and extra point team all year. You know, we don't want to waste a year's eligibility, and you have to be bought in with your athletic director. You know, the AD has to be on the same plan. Ron Wellman, our boss, has allowed me to be patient and develop players over time.
And we've seen that pay off the last couple of years. Wake has averaged 10 wins a season each of the last 2 years. Can you stay on top of the wave for a sustained period like we've seen Miami or Florida State or Virginia Tech do at Wake Forest?
Well, I hope so. I think this is the most talented team I've had since I've been at Wake Forest. We may not be the best team we've had. We'll find out. You know, you've got to have a lot of intangibles to go with a good football team.
Can you do it 7 or 8 or 9 or in Florida State's case 15 years in a row at Wake Forest?
I think it's possible. I think we're getting better. I think we're improving every year. I think our talent level's getting better, and I think our coaching staff does a great job. A lot will be determined by your opponents, though. It depends on how good the league is each year.
Coach, the ACC has taken a big hit over the first 2 weeks of the season with Virginia Tech, Clemson, Maryland losing at Middle Tennessee State. How would you describe the state of the ACC?
Well, I don't think we know yet, Trevor. I think some of the schools played some really good teams early. You know, there aren't many teams out there that want to play East Carolina in an opener, want to play Southern Cal in an opener, Alabama in an opener. You know, a lot of good football teams were taken on by the ACC, and I think it's going to take a couple more weeks, maybe 3 or 4 more weeks before we really know the strength of the ACC or the strength of other conferences.
All right, Coach, Trevor and I are going to leave these jobs, and we're going to go coach a football team. We're going to take a team that's at the bottom of a BCS conference, and we're going to try to build it up like you built up Wake Forest. And we call you up and we say, what's the best piece of advice you can give us? Non-cliche, non-work hard, just keep it. What's one of the secrets to taking a school that is, say, a 3 or a 4 on a scale of 1 to 10 and making it an 8 or a 9?
Well, I think the key is recruiting, and I think you got to find the right kids, and not necessarily the biggest, fastest, strongest kids. You've obviously got to get good players, but I think the key is you got to find good team players. You got to have high school coaches tell you, you know, this is maybe the favorite kid I've coached in my career, those type things. If you bring in kids with good work ethic, good character, you can develop them over a 5-year period.
And some of those kids are unexpected. Your starting quarterback, you didn't even recruit until the very end.
Well, his high school coach, Corky Rogers, kind of kidnapped me. He got me in his office and wouldn't let me go until I agreed to take a second look at Riley. We'd already committed Brett Hodges, and we really didn't want 2 quarterbacks in that class. But after we took a better look at Riley Skinner, we just felt like that he needed to be the last scholarship we took that year.
Coach, I have a 4-year-old, and I don't take no for an answer either. So when he needs a scholarship, I'm going to find you in your office and kidnap you, just like Coach did. Thank you very much for joining us. We
Thank you, Eric.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Trevor.
And when you take a look at what Coach Grobe has done, it's even that much more impressive. Here's Wake compared to other schools who won a BCS conference, and look at the student-to-football scholarship ratio. Wake does it about 50 to 1. Ohio State 700+ to 1. USC, that number's 666.
I think a lot of Big Ten teams thinks that that's a pretty apropos number for them.